I see. I, I, I think I've seen the replacements that Chelsea would have to bring in for Levi Colwill. I think I've seen who that person. I've been talking about the kind of quality that that kind of player should have. I've been talking about certain aspects of that player's game because you need to make sure that bringing in such a player solves not just Levi Colwill's injury problem, but solves a long-term problem of versatility and then dual ability to play in the role and even the positional requirements of that part of centre back. I'm going to delve into. I think I found that person over the Real Madrid seem to have gotten some very, very good news this morning from yesterday. Also, conversations around centre back, and then the conversation around Barca's big conversation around Inigo Martinez, Marc-Andre ter Stegen, the VIP boxes from Juan Laporte, and why that's going to be a big game changer. Plus, other transfer conversation. This is Mr. Fiifi-Manfred of YouTube. Good morning to everybody who has come here for the season opener. Of course, the season is opening purely next week. Today, there's going to be the Super Cup. We have a lot of conversations right after that game. Liverpool versus Crystal Palace. We'll talk about that after that game. If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe, turn on notification. In the notification, turn do choose all. Just so anytime there is content here, we'll be first person now. Sabekasa content in your eyes on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Again, go into the description of the video below and pick up the link to the new Fiifi-Manfred Sports Analysis channel 2. Fiifi-Manfred Sports Analysis 2 over there. The link is in there. I told you we are preparing some big conversation with some of the big brains who have roundtable discussions about sports and all of those things. Different content from what I do here. Of course, I'm going to be in there. So plus Richardo and the likes. We are done in that regard. So go and pick up those link and then subscribe to the channel. Of course, the league started yesterday. Yesterday in the Dutch Eredivisie, there were games. The Portuguese Liga, there were games. Today, we go again. So the codes of today's games are also in the description of the video below. Don't see, I didn't see. This week we are definitely booming. We are definitely booming. It didn't happen yesterday, so most likely it's going to happen today. So go and pick up the codes and put them in your bet to give yourself a good chance of winning something over here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Let's get straight into it. But before that, let's say a very, very big thank you to the two people who have made this show a possibility. First of all, let's say a big thank you to Yesimo Spare Parts Dealership Shop. Yesimo Spare Parts Dealership Shop. It's your best place for car spare parts. Any brand of car, Range Rovers, Highlanders, Hondas, Acuras, every brand. If you want the spare parts, cameras, what have you, bumpers, what have you, accidents, windshield, airbags, everything. Just go to Abosokan post office, Abosokan post office, Abosokan post office. Just ask of Yesimo Spare Parts Dealership. If you're not close to Abosokan and then you can take a vehicle there, wherever you are in the country, Yesimo does nationwide delivery for you. Of course, even if you're outside of the various countries that are around Ghana, that a car can come there. He does also deliveries to you. Or call him on 059-313-8221. 059-313-8221. Let me say a big good morning to Gerald and his mom at the MOB clothing shop over there at the Aflao station at Tudu. If you go to Tudu, big hub for business, the clothing shop at Aflao station over there. MOB clothing is over there. If you want anything, shirts, shoes, belts, if you want anything Lacoste, any kind of shirt, any kind of attire that you want to go out with, anything that you need as a boy there, Charlie, that's the best place there for go buy your stuff. That's why I'm telling you now, go to MOB right now, tank top, whatever top, shorts, trousers, jeans, track sheets, whatever. If you go to MOB, you'll get a job done for you. Call MOB on 0200 668708, 0200 668708, or call him on 02472774140, and let's get a job done. See, I think yesterday the deal for Al Nassr, what they are trying to do in their team is super, because first off, they have realized that the transfer window is about to get to a close, and it looks as if Cristiano Ronaldo is very much interested in finalizing the conversation around players or person the team in terms of who does he want to adapt to the quality of the team. Last season, they fell short in the Asian Champions League competition. They fell short in winning the league. And it looks as if this summer, Cristiano Ronaldo has been given the total autonomy plus sporting directors or the George Jesus Abba as the manager or the one down for Abba sporting director. And it looks as if they have been given that autonomy to be able to make decisions and bring in quality players from Europe to come and compete. So if you look at the kind of signings that they are bringing here, they are much more specific, they are much more targeted, they are certain quality, certain level of quality at Al Nassr. One of the things that they've done throughout the season after somebody Abrante Fenny, João Felix from Chelsea, it happened. Now they've gone on to Abrante Fenny, Kingsley Coleman from Paris, from FC Bayern München. No matter they want Kingsley Coleman at team my friend Al Nassr to be part of the attack. So there's going to be Sadio Mane, Cristiano Ronaldo, Kingsley Coleman, João Felix, quality across board because of course apparently friend John Duran has now left Al Nassr to go back to Turkey to go and play under Jose Mourinho. So definitely, it looks as if Cristiano Ronaldo wants to build a very, very formidable Al Nassr side. It can compete with almost everybody, even in Europe, and of course, so that he can also win the Asian Championship next season. He wants to be in good shape. I said, Ronaldo's bigger picture is to be able to go to the top and play in the 2026 World Cup and possibly win it for the Portuguese national team. But away from that, it's as if he wants top professionals, top players who come close to him or Al Nassr. I'll be for him to be in shape so that when he goes to the World Cup, he's going to be the right person at the right place to push for that World Cup and then win it and be, of course, in that conversation for the GOAT of all time, the greatest player of all time. It looks as if that's exactly what Cristiano Ronaldo wants to do. What the story that's going to do. What the story that is going to be if Cristiano Ronaldo manages to win the World Cup in Aduma next year. It'll be a very, very, very interesting story. But apart from that, yesterday, Abrantia Gefreno, Inigo Martinez. Yesterday, he sent the final farewell message to Football Club Barcelona fans and told them, say, Charlie, he has constantly loved to don the jerseys of Barcelona. I say for him, as a Bucks boy who played for Athletic Club de Bilbao and going to Barcelona, he saw it as a next stage of his career, winning the Spanish La Liga, playing the semi-final of the Champions League. He didn't think that was going to be possible at Athletic Club de Bilbao. And for that, the fact that Barca gave him that, he's excited. And all across Instagram and now, all the Barca players, Pau Kubasi, Pedri, Gavi, almost everybody, Mark Sado, everybody is sending their well wishes to Abrante friend Inigo Martinez. Some calling him boss, some calling him captain, some telling him that Charlie, the wish you well. Al Nassr and go and deliver. And Al Nassr will have an experienced center back in their ranks over there for themselves. And I've said it several times. I see when you look at Chris Jensen, when you look at Ronald Araujo, and you ask yourself, and then there's going to be the one Gampa trophy in between Como, any team, and friendly football club Barcelona. One of the things that you look at on the field of play, yes, who becomes the next Barca partner to Abrante friend Pau Kubasi? I think that in the short term, Ronald Araujo looks like he will own that spot. It looks like he'll go in there, he'll go and play that football. People give him all of that credit to play. But I think that in the long term, with a matter of time, Andres Christensen will own that style of play, will own that backline. The only thing is that something has to change. Kubasi has to be the aggressor. He has to be the one that goes into tackles and duels so that Andres Christensen becomes a sweeper. It is natural ability. He is best at it. Ball playing top. Duels now. Christensen has now developed that ability as well to be able to win duels, to be able to be physical, to be able to be combative and come into games and then be one of the best players that you'll be able to get, all across Europe. So definitely now that Inigo Martinez is gone, it looks as if it's going to be Ronald Araujo will be playing that competition, I'll be playing every time. But once you move away from that, once you go away from Ronald Araujo, once you give it some time, Andres Christensen looks like it's going to be that guy. And today, at the Johan Cruyff Stadium, that's going to be the game against Como. And one of the things that Juan Laporta has done very well is the fact that the VIP boxes now are there. It's going to generate a lot of good money for Football Club Barcelona. I said it several times. The financial engineering, the financial creative ability of Juan Laporta, the financial smartness of everybody in the team is good. If but for that, Barca probably would have been in a very, very bad place in terms of how they have managed the club. I think they've done a brilliantly well. They've used their mind. They've been creative. They've thought out of the box. They've planned well, and they've gotten themselves where they've gotten to. And even the Spotify camp now is really getting into shape exactly how people expect the Spotify camp now to be. So I mean, success to football club Barcelona, and then we're expecting one Garcia is going to be in post. We're expecting to see Kubasi, Arau. We're expecting to see Kunde, Alejandro Bau. We're expecting to see Pedri, Gavi, Frankie de Jong. We're expecting to see Rashford because of the injury of our brand here friend Robert Lewandowski. And I kept on saying at the beginning when Marcus Rashford was being linked to Barcelona, I kept on saying that the durability of Robert Lewandowski, you can't really bank on it. You can't say that, okay, Robert Lewandowski, even at age 36, 37, will play every game. What did that mean? That meant that if you compare Marcus Rashford, Ferran Torres, and Danny Olmo, three attackers, which amongst them looks like a striker when you compare it to that three? It is Marcus Rashford. He has played most times as a striker, as a main striker, not as a false nine. He has played experience in there. He has the frame of a striker. He can hold up play. He can run in behind. So it was always going to be possible for Barcelona to get that kind of player, for them to get that kind of ability in Marcus Rashford. And now that Robert Lewandowski is injured, it means that Marcus Rashford definitely steps up and then plays as centre forward for Football Club Barcelona. I mean, that is cool stuff. That is very interesting, given how Barca want to grow their stuff, given how Barca want to increase in terms of the number of people that influence games for them and the importance of Robert Lewandowski last season. You expect that Marcus Rashford is going to be very important for them. So exciting season that's coming. And Sauti Sex Fabregas, he speaks about the fact that what Hansi Flick had done with that line, defensive line, looks innovative to him. He said even Josep Guardiola's team at the time wasn't really doing that, and he's excited to play against them. I mean that aggressive line to constrict that part of the pitch, to press and counter press and be effective in it. So I mean, I think that's something that you have to give to Hansi Flick. I mean, but for the falling shot against Inter in that Champions League semi-final, I think that Flick probably would have become the Champions League manager. I mean, the manager of the year somewhere last season. Could have been easily the manager of the year last season. But of course, there you have it. Hansi Flick probably has to do more this season, and probably when he wins the Champions League, then he goes on to get the manager of the year. Over the next place at Football Club Real Madrid, big conversation. Good news is the fact that Madrid played in a friendly game behind closed doors. In that friendly game behind closed doors, the best news that had come out was with our friend Eder Militao. Everybody that watched Eder Militao says that this looks like the Eder Militao that Madrid knew. This looks like the Eder Militao that Madrid have known in the past. The old Eder Militao, combative, physical, aggressive, dual winner, and ball playing ability, and then reading the game very well. The Eder Militao that came from Portugal, from the Portuguese league to come and play for Real Madrid. That is exactly what Madrid say that they are seeing now. And I think that's good because I've said several times that in the long run, Madrid would have to find somebody, and in this case, Xabi Alonso would have to find somebody that fits perfectly to Dean Hudson. Because when you look at Dean Hudson, he's the more comfortable ball playing centre back on the ball that plays up on the back easily. And you need to pair him with somebody who is aggressive, who can be the job of the dog, the cat and dog profile of centre backs. I've explained several times over here. Somebody who can step up and then make sure that he wins duels, somebody who can turn over possession, somebody who can engage, so that Dean Hudson becomes a sweeper. It's very important. Is it going to be Antonio Rudiger, especially in the back four? Is it going to be Antonio Rudiger or is it going to be Eder Militao? The fact that there are options in there for Xabi Alonso makes it very interesting. Very interesting for him to be able to have a lot of options across board. A lot of his players who can come in and say, okay, now we're playing that position and I can compete with Rudiger because those are two very aggressive centre backs. So it's very important in that regard. What we hear is that Real Madrid aren't training today. There is a day off today, and then they go to go and rest because next week there is a big game for them to go on and go and play in the Spanish La Liga, because the Spanish La Liga starts on next week Friday, and then on Saturday, Sunday there are games. Subsequent week there are games. So there are lots of games even before the international break comes, and then we go to play in other games as well. So very, very interesting stuff here in terms of the leagues that are going to start, and everybody wants to do their things right. Not just Madrid, not just Barcelona. I mentioned the last time that don't underestimate how good Atletico de Madrid have been on the transfer market. Bringing on players like Alex Baena and then also adding Raspoderi from Atalanta is an important addition to their team. Whatever happens, the quality at the disposal of Diego Simeone. I've seen when I tweeted that people say that, oh, Diego Simeone there, his management of the players will not be good enough, and that's the reason why they will not be successful. I can understand, and of course, there is a lot of evidence to point to that. But again, you need to be wary of Atletico de Madrid going into next season and the kind of football that they want to play. You need to be very, 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 very careful of them, or else you are going to be in some trouble. I think that Chelsea's biggest headache today is not just about finalizing Xavi Simons. In fact, in the last few days, in about a week ago, it was just about finalizing Xavi Simons. I've constantly said that when you look at what Gittins gives to Chelsea, Garnacho doesn't look like, or I don't think, I've not seen Garnacho do what Gittins have done. I personally don't think that Garnacho is the need for the team. I said it several times. But of course, at the beginning, I didn't want Garnacho. I said it several times, but I'm human. Sometimes I can be wrong. And that's why there are people whose day job is to be the analyst of the professional club and to be the sporting directors. But most times in my job, I am right in terms because I take my time in doing these analysis, breaking things down, and merging data with the eye test, and now bringing in my conclusions. It's just like when Joao Felix was joining Chelsea. I did mention at the time that I don't think that Joao Felix is the guy. Honestly. Why? I mentioned issues of the off the ball ability. He doesn't really give much to the team. He's not as intense as you want him to be. You can be the most talented player in the world, but really, if you don't work hard without it, you don't win anything. I mentioned all of these things, and of course, it came to pass. I'm not excited that it came to pass, but I'm happy that Chelsea have made good money for him. The business point of view makes sense. Alejandro Garnacho, it's similar. It's similar to the point where I don't really think that Alejandro Garnacho is the one that comes to Chelsea and take things to the next level or the next two levels. Because see, when I watch Jimmy Barno gets us, he looks like a guy that owns that is going to own the left wing. You know, he looks like the guy that's direct, that is good in 1v1 situations, that attacks the channels very well. That's his off the ball movement, even the left channel is good. That's once he takes the 10 of the 1-2 on the left, cuts onto his right, he wants to shoot. So he's more dangerous. He's very, very dangerous. Alejandro Garnacho has that directness, but he doesn't have that trickery. He doesn't have that sorcery of a left winger that you need in the modern game. I say, so we join a 1v1 and defender, Ed and so be BT defender. But Oshe Sani Manina, his quality, and maybe Chelsea won't have a reasoning to somebody Alejandro Garnacho but again, I've said it several times that Garnacho doesn't really tick the boxes for me. He doesn't particularly take it for me. It's really say you did Garnacho come and I'm taking it a pinch of salt. And I like the fact that Chelsea are not rushing. They'll make it the last deal that if they have to do, they'll do it at the last latter part. The next one is Xavi Simons. And at a point where Chelsea didn't come and do baby, they've done the sales that they have to do. Chelsea have done a lot of sales in recent times, buying the players that they have to buy. In fact, people have a lot of the reports that have come from Germany say, regardless of what happened to Levi Colwill, Chelsea are still well advanced in bringing in a branch friend Xavi Simons. And why is Xavi Simons important? I've said it several times. Xavi's importance stems from the fact that he becomes a competitor to Cole Palmer, not a backup. I mean, if it's a backup, Xavi Simons will not come. But he knows that only Cole Palmer beats me and together. And imagine that front four, whether you are playing Liam Delap, you're playing Joao Pedro, you're playing Cole Palmer, you are playing Xavi Simons, you are playing on the right hand side, Esteval Willian or Pedro Neto, and then you come back. I mean, there is quality up there. And it's important that Chelsea will do that deal. And I think that's just a matter of time. Chelsea bears that deal there free. I'm hoping say by Nami Adoma this week they can finalize the deal for Branty friend Xavi Simons to come to Chelsea for him to be able to come and play the football that he's playing at RB. I mean, you win duels, you turn over possession, you are intense and stuff like that. They're very, very important for him to do. But see, when you have all of these conversations, when you talk about Xavi Simons, talk about the quality that Chelsea want to bring in, I've seen people say that games now, Liam Delap Abono, he is not good enough. Now, last time when I did the video, I mentioned my worry about Liam. Liam is a different striker. Let us have this in mind. Have this in mind. You cannot compare Joao Pedro to Liam Delap. I'm saying this in terms of the general output of play. Near Liam Delap Ebeye, when he received the ball, it's not. And what Liam Delap gives the team. Liam Delap is very important for us. He will be very important for Chelsea, especially as a box occupant striker. It's a box area tight, and you need somebody to go. Liam Delap is the guy, and he's somebody that would have to deliver, and I think he'll deliver. This is not me guessing that Liam Delap will be fine. I think that he's going to be a top center forward of Chelsea. It's going to be very, very important. Given that Enzo Maresca wants to play, and of course, because Joao Pedro, everything right now, you see how he touches, good. I mean, came on playing 4 games, scored 4 goals. Obama, he's good. The ball striking ability, I mean, the versatility, dropping deep to come and play, combination of play, the runs in behind, the hold up play. He's literally one of the best that you can get on the market. When you want a second striker kind of player, that profile, he's one of the best that you can get on the market. But Liam Delap is equally important. And I like the fact that Chelsea's plan is not to bank on Liam Delap alone to score those goals, because he didn't even do that at Ipswich Town. But they expect that Liam Delap can replicate that same numbers now between 10 to 15 goals this season, or maybe more. If they create the chances that they created for Nicolas Jackson for him, they believe that they will score more. If they create those same chances for Joao Pedro, they believe that he will score more. And that's the level at which they think that they are going for it. Not particularly just because, okay, Liam Delap has come into any, and I know he's not good enough. He's very important for the team. If you are looking at Liam Delap and you're looking at him just because, the boy comes in, he has not done the flashy things and he's signing money, man, they'll forget about it. He's going to be very important for the team. And the Chelsea front four looks like going to be very important. I said the last time that bringing in Xavi Simons gives Enzo Maresca the ability to use Enzo Fernandez in a different way. I think that the game against Leverkusen, he didn't play some. I think it's but I think he didn't play in that game. But it gives him the chance to use Enzo Fernandez in a different way. It gives him the chance to play down well. It's important that he has that ability in his game. Now, the biggest worry at Chelsea Football Club is not the Gittins, it's not the Garnacho area. It's not even the Xavi Simons area, but it's centre back. It's a centre back because Makan is several times. When you look at Levi Colwill at the beginning, some of us saw potential. We said that it will work, and it has worked. At the beginning, I remember I'll be doing a video and people come and say, Levi Colwill, he's not good. I kept on saying that. That is a boy that Liverpool were willing to pay any amount of money to pair him with Virgil van Dijk. I'm telling you, Liverpool were willing. I mean, at the start of the season with Mauricio Pochettino, to pay any amount of money. It's the same boy that when he went on loan to go and play under Roberto De Zerbi at Brighton and Hove Albion, Thomas Tuchel had to struggle to keep him at Chelsea. And he's a Chelsea boy through and through. I mean, he's from Southampton, but he's a Chelsea boy through and through. So why would you want to let that boy go? He has been given time. He has been shown trust. He has grown. Today, literally, Levi Colwill a free Chelsea team, and now everybody is beginning to say, hey, can Chelsea go on and play next season? Can they go on and go and play? Are they going to get a proper replacement for him? And that is why, if you listen to that Enzo Maresca post-match interview, he doesn't clearly say that he wants a centre back, but he tells you about the importance of Levi Colwill and why Chelsea probably has to go into the season and find a solution for Levi Colwill to come in. But wait, when you look at our backline, I think that Chelsea have been very unlucky. Last season, he and Abrante's friend Wesley Fofana built a formidable relationship at the beginning, and it was brilliant. And I've always explained it: cat and dog. Wesley, the aggressor, steps into the zones, win duels, comes back, Levi cleans, steps into tackles, Levi cleans, goes in there, Levi cleans. It's exactly like that. Levi was always a sweeper, Wesley the aggressor. Then Wesley gets injured. Then it got to the point where, because of the temperament and the profile of other centre backs that Chelsea had, it meant that Levi had to change his game. So he became rather the aggressor. So Levi became the aggressor at the back, if you remember. He became the more aggressive center back. He became the one that plays out from the back. He became the one that engaged into duels so that Trevor Chalobah rather becomes the sweeper at the back for him. And Trevor is good. And even Tosin Adrebio becomes a sweeper. And the problem, however, is that Tosin doesn't have the pace when he wants to play high. When you are being pressed by teams, because Tosin is a little bit slow, he can be caught out. So Enzo Maresca doesn't really like Tosin in games that are high profile. So if you watch um, the Conference League final, Club World Cup final, big games, he won't play Tosin. He would rather play Trevor Chalobah. But in the absence of Levi Colwill, there is a big question. Who now fills that position? Because Tosin can play as a CCB. That means that you have to shift certain things. It means that you need to get on the right hand side. You can't play with James. It means that Wesley Fofana now becomes the RCB. Then on the left hand side, you play either Joao Hato or Marco Correa. So Tosin becomes a CCB. But that also means that you need to protect Tosin a lot when you are with the ball. Very important stuff. Then again, if you flip it on the other side, you can't play Wesley Fofana as a CCB. Trevor Chalobah is not your best CCB. Joshua Champo can play as a CCB. What that means is that if you want to use your left back in a different way, like what happened against Leverkusen, you have to find a way to play these players in there. So it is a dicey way that Chelsea can go into the season. But I think that I said the last time, the kind of player that Chelsea needs in that area is one, a centre back who is ambipedal. It is the first requirement for me who Chelsea has to buy. Two-footed. And when I say ambipedal, that's what I mean. Two-footed, with ball left, with ball left, with ball right. Why do I say this? You need somebody who can play in the absence of Wesley Fofana when Wesley is absent. Who can be the ball carrier, right-footed, from the right-hand side. The same person can also be in the left-hand side now that Levi is not there. Even if you play Benoit Bellachile, you need all of these things in there. It's very, very important for you to have these kind of profiles. And for the past few days, I've tried to stay away from names because I'm looking at the profile. You need to be aggressive. You need to be able to be a sweeper. You need to be able to play out from the back. You need to be physical. You need to be double-footed. You need to be ambipedal. All of these things. You need to be tall. I think 6'5", 6'2", 6'3". Around this area, you need to be very physical. You need to be domineering and dominant in your boxes. Very important stuff. But as I say, I keep on staying away from names until I challenge to some names. I've seen people mention Morelos' name. I've seen people mention Mark Gay's name. I've seen people mention a lot of names. But see, I want to watch. I saw somebody put out almost all the names I've been put out because I had watched Morelos several times. I mean, Morelos doesn't move me. I said it several times. He's too short. He's just physical. He's not, for me, he's not the best ball playing center back because he does. People don't even. I mean, the few times people see him, it's okay. But if you play in a possession heavy team like Chelsea, I think you need more than what Morelos shows. Maggie is more right-sided. He's not bipedal, so he's out of my conversation right now for that particular spot. I mean, later, Chelsea want a right centre back who is experienced and want to add Maggie. Great. But then for that particular spot, I want an ambipedal centre back. I want somebody who can play left, I can play right, I can be physical, I can be aggressive, I can be a sweeper, all of that profiles, and then taller. So very physical, very dominant in both boxes. So I saw somebody talk about Alexandro Ribeiro. So he's from Brazil. He's a Brazilian center back. Plays for Lille in the French Ligue 1. And I said, let me go and watch him. See, just by the mere fact that the guy is ambipedal, I was sold. Because I think that is the profile Chelsea needs. Somebody can play left and right, not just one-footed. One of the reasons why I didn't like Gerard Braithwaite at the beginning of the summer was the fact that Gerard Braithwaite can play both left and right. But Gerard Braithwaite for Everton, the kind of money they will ask you to pay, you won't be able to pay. So I like the Alexandro Ribeiro guy who will be able to come in and play that position, both on the left and the right, who can be physical, who can play in that regard as well. Again, I think that when Carlo Ancelotti took over the Brazilian job, that's one of the biggest surprises that Brazilians have seen. I was trying to do some research, and apparently, when Ancelotti brought him in, people did not know who he was really. I mean, he didn't even play a single minute in Brazil before he left the shores of Brazil. That tells you the quality. Like, throughout the academy as a young boy, straight to Portugal, and then now in France. I think it's going to be one of the best center backs that are going to be in the world, people begin to know about him. And when you watch, I watch a Brazilian game where under Carlo Ancelotti, Carlo played him both one time at left center back and at right center back. When he became the ball dominant CB to build up for the back, he's very good and also tall, very combative, very physical, an aggressive guy. So for me, I look at all of that, I'm like, Charlie, maybe he can be this Alexandro Ribeiro guy. And there's some funny thing that happens. Usually when I see players like this and I talk about them, the next moment I see that Chelsea are linked in. I won't be surprised if Chelsea gets linked in because of course the Chelsea scouts will also watch the same team that I watch. They'll do the analysis like I do, and then they'll come out at the conclusion and say, okay, it looks as if our guy is Alexandro Ribeiro. So let us try and go to Lille and see. Of course, that will also come down to money. But I think that guy is a top player. If Chelsea are able to get him, it's going to be very important in that regard. Of course, that was Saudi Arabia. So Al Hilal have finally gotten a brand here friend Darwin Nunez. Darwin Nunez from Liverpool. Liverpool made a lot of money apart from Al Hilal for a brand here friend Darwin Nunez. Newcastle United for coach Eddie Howe. He said he doesn't know about the fact that they have told a brand here friend Alexander Ishak that he's not in the club. Said for him, he wants players that want to play for him. So he doesn't know about the Ishak conversation. Manchester United for almost center forward, a friend of Branty, a friend of Rasmus Hulud. Rasmus Hulud. Now, Rasmus Holland is now going to move for Manchester United. AC Milan are asking questions about him. There's supposed to be a loan fee of somewhere around 6 million, and then they buy him next year for around 46 million thereabouts. If Manchester United get a chance to ship him off. Obviously, it didn't work on Manchester United. They brought in a project center forward. They don't have time for that. They have to move on and then go in with a bunch of friend of Rasmus Hoyland. We'll see if next season Manchester United will be able to compete proper, given the players that they buy. Are they going to be able to go into the market and get a bunch of friend Carlos Baleba, or it's not going to be that? But Manchester United look like they want to get back to the very top, and then we'll see how things are going to pan out from there. Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Sunday morning fresh edition. I'm going to subscribe to the channel. I'm sure. Subscribe, turn on notification. In the notification turn, do choose all. Just make sure so you share the link also. Anytime we will get back with you later in the day after the Chelsea game. We'll do the analysis for you. We'll see you. Until then, go take care. Bye.